all over the world to share in their stories and share their journey, uh, in the hope that it will inspire your journey as well. Excuse me, I'm by the side of my road here in my garden, and you can hear all this traffic going back and forth. But it's a lovely morning here in Malaysia. It's 10:04 a.m. I started this live a little bit late. I apologize for that. We're having some technical issues here, but it seems like it's a wonderful, beautiful day. Really sunny. I'm hiding behind under this tree of mine, and today we have Mike Teo with you to share his story. But before that, let me just see whether we are live on. Yes, we are. We're live on LinkedIn as well as live on YouTube. This is the first time we're streaming live today using restream.io. So if you need a streaming app, check out restream.io. They are powering this cast today. Thank you to Restream. So with that, let me get Michael Teo on board. How are you, Mike?
Hello, Aziph. Kongsi Pachai.
Happy New Year.
Happy Chinese New Year to all of our friends watching this right now from all around the world. I am doing marvelous. How about yourself, my brother?
Wonderful. I'm so glad to have you on board finally. I wanted to have you on early on, but scheduling and all of that. But
thank you. Thank you.
Right now. So to the audience, I have known Mike. We did this math, Mike. It was at least 10 years, right?
It is at least 10 years. I mean, it goes way back to like 11, 12 years. I mean, you have seen how I've grown. I've seen how you have grown, and it's been amazing, and just keeping in touch with you and seeing how you have become this influential personality on LinkedIn, because you add so much value to your community, and it's just a pleasure. It's just an honor, Aziph, for me to be part of your effort of adding more value to your community right now.
Thank you so much, Mike. As you've said, I have seen you grow, and when we first met, you were a very young guy, straight out of college. I think while you were a student, we did something.
Oh yes.
Yayasan Inovasi.
Yes.
And you joined apa ni? Yayasan.
Are you talking about the youth NGO?
Yeah,
so
the youth NGO.
It was My Harapan at that time.
That's right, My Harapan.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, and we did lots of work together as well. And
for sure.
Started your business, and you grew your business as well. So that's why don't you introduce yourself a little bit to our audience who may not know you yet, and tell them what you do.
Okay, thank you, Aziph. So thank you again for inviting me here to be part of Grow. And again, for those of you who didn't catch that, my name is Michael Teo. So I would describe myself as a entrepreneurial educator. So I run a company called Thriving Talents, where we help leaders and organizations to motivate and mobilize the millennials generation of their employees to be more productive and profitable by equipping them with skills and experiences that will allow them to build more value, not only for their organization, but also for themselves. And if you talk about the millennials generation, these are people that we have known as the Gen Ys or the Gen Zs, typically your employees below the age of 35. So I've had the opportunity to work on this business, this passion of mine, since 2012. Yeah, as mentioned by Aziph earlier, he have seen my evolution throughout the years. Yeah, so since 2012, we have expanded our training footprint to 41 countries, working with some of the world's largest Fortune 500 companies in the likes of Microsoft, HSBC, Shell, Oracle, SAP, BASF, to name a few. And going way back, I met Aziph because he was the CEO of an innovation foundation that was backed by our Ministry of Science, Innovation, and Technology at that time. This was way back in 2010, 2011. And Aziph was in the position at that time to provide me and my team a lot of opportunities to engage the grassroots when it comes to innovation. So if I can speak about you, Aziph, really, you are the very embodiment of really empowering and equipping communities. Because I remember for Yayasan Inovasi Malaysia, the Innovation Foundation, you would look for undiscovered innovators in the grassroots community, and you would equip them with the skills to bring their products to commercialization. And I'm glad to see your growth right now, being part of one of the largest telco companies in Malaysia, and also becoming a LinkedIn personality, by adding value, by adding so much value. So again, Azip, it's great for me to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mike. Well, really, we didn't provide that much training or skills to those innovators. Really, all we did was shine a spotlight on them. And
There you go.
LinkedIn is the same way.
Yeah,
As we have the opportunity now, you and I, and everybody tuning in, to actually shine a spotlight on anyone we choose to on the platform,
for
give
sure.
some, attention, and watch them grow as well. So I'm really excited to speak to you. I'm really excited to have all of our friends from all over the world right now tuning in. Tell us where you're from, guys. I know that Nidal Haikal is from New York. Uh,
Yes.
I see Captain, my favorite sailor here, James Fung. He's asking where I get this baju. This shirt, James, if you must know, I didn't buy. You have to earn this. I was actually part of the Merdeka. That Merdeka is our National Day celebrations a couple of years ago. This is BC, before COVID. We had a nice parade in Putrajaya, and I was one of the small team to read the Ikrar for our National Day. So I got this T-shirt. I'm very proud of it. It has the Malaysian flag on it. It has some red. It's a lot of red actually on the back. For Chinese New Year, Kong Hee Fat Choi.
Yeah, Gong Si Fa Chai. And again, Azip, I think one of the most beautiful characteristics you have is that you're so grounded and so humble. And bearing in mind, when Azip said he had to read the Ikrar, I'm sure it was an honor for you, Azip, but you were reading it in what? In the audience of the Prime Minister, all
It
the
was the
senior
king.
government leaders.
His Majesty the King was
His
right.
Majesty the King was there. I mean, look at that. How many people could say that he actually recited one of the most important, I would say, pledge for nation building for the country in front of His Majesty the King? So again, Azib, if you're not gonna share about, you're just so humble. So let me share it for you.
No, it was such an honor. It was a great honor for me. So
Yeah.
we have fans yourself, Michael. We have Ayu Shahira here, who said
Yes.
a big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you, Ayu. Man, Ayu's amazing. Ayu's amazing. Hi.
Yes, she is. We have so many people. We have Ashik here.
Yes.
Happy New Year. Hope everyone's having a blast. Uh,
Yeah.
Yep. So, welcome one and all. It's just great to have so many people from all over the world tuning in today. This is my brother here from all the way from New York, Nidal Haikal. If you've not connected to him, ladies and gentlemen, please do. He has an amazing show himself, a
Oh,
live show that's also broadcast over YouTube and LinkedIn. So,
oh.
he's also wishing everybody a happy New Year. And he says, unfortunately, in New York, it's very cold, but Malaysia is wonderfully warm, so you can enjoy the warmth that we bring you. Uh,
Oh, Azib, if we were to turn things around, I wish it was a lot cooler right now. It's getting a little bit hot these days in
it
Malaysia.
is
Really
very,
hot,
very hot. Yeah, we have our buddy Malaysian here, Pert. He said, as if the weirdo beardo, that's me. Nidal's asking, what is the ikrar? The ikrar is how would you say this, Mike? It's
I would say it's like a pledge. It's like a promise. It's like a promise by the nation that we will remain loyal, united, and contribute to the well-being of society. I would imagine something like that. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say that we do have Deb Rice in the studio, all the way from the States. However, she's having some technical issues. It looks like she won't be able to connect. She has poor network connection right now that I see. It's 0/10. But she has, waited for us, and she is here.
Oh.
Deb, so sorry you won't be able to join us. But as soon as you get your camera to work, and your network's a bit better, I'll get you onto the stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's me and Mike for now, but don't worry, we're gonna have a great show. We have Abhishek Singh here, all the way from India, from New Delhi. Welcome, Abhishek.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Purpal saying Ikrar is the oath. There you go. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, there you go. There
for
you go.
helping us with that. It's the oath. So, Mike, let's start with again your helping companies understand millennials. Now,
Right.
it has been a kind of a puzzle for many companies who are not used to how to manage them. They're such an important demographic,
Right.
yet to many people, perhaps of my age, it's thing. You deal with them in your family, but when they're entering the workforce, it's kind of surprising. We don't know what to do. So, how do you help companies understand them better?
Well, first thing is first, when we work with some of the organizations, we, of course, we first understand what the millennials population, why is it so significant for them, and what functions do the millennials population normally play in their organization. This is because we have actually designed different approaches to motivate, to mobilize, and to upskill these millennial generation workforce for different sectors of organizations. You see, it differs when you try to motivate younger people in your sales force compared to when you try to motivate people that are in your support team, or even people that are from a more IT background, which some of them tend to be a little bit more introvert. Nothing wrong with that, just because of the nature of how they were conditioned, how they were brought up in university, being a more tech savvy group. So we need to first understand, for your company, for your organization, where is the largest population of the millennials? What do you want them to do? And then we intervene with some trainings that we provide for them. Now, these trainings could be done in two ways. Number one, it's about educating your managers, people that are managing the millennials, what they need to understand about this particular generation. And then I'm a believer, oftentimes companies stop right there. They say, I want to equip my leaders with the skills, with the empathy, with the understanding for them to understand the younger generation of the workforce, and that's enough. Oh, no, 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 no. That is, if I'm going to speak Bahasa Melayu, ibarat tepuk sebelah tangan. It means that is like clapping with one hand, and there's nothing, right? There's no sound. There has to be another, I would say, continuum. And that continuum is, we need to also then work with the millennials generation of your workforce, so that we could inspire, we could bring them through towards understanding the journey that your managers, your senior leaders go through. So when both generations understand each other, when they start communicating, they know how to collaborate, that is when magic happens. That is when the generations gap has been breached. And that is when you have a more harmonious, more productive, more calm workplace. So we do that through training. We do that to certain levels of coaching, consultancy that we provide for companies. And at the end of the day, we celebrate with a graduation ceremony for them. So that is, in a nutshell, what we do.
I love what you say. It's more calm because sometimes it does get stressful when you don't understand each other. You're not speaking the same language and you're
Right.
not on the same page. And there's not really anything wrong. We don't dislike anyone, but just because we don't speak the same language, it gets pretty stressful sometimes, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. If I may share, Azip, just a general application to all of our viewers listening and watching this right now. Now, whether you're interested in the topic of millennials, the Gen Ys, the Gen Zs of employees, or your customers, if you are selling a product or service to a younger customer, oftentimes people get frustrated, people get confused, people give up about managing one another or even trying to improve something. It is because that they lack structure. They do not have a framework. It's like how we remember, right? What if I ask you this question right now? Azip, could you please tell us which month of the year has 30 days and 31 days? All right. Do you remember how to tell us which month?
If you don't have jog for your memory, it's almost impossible. But if you know your fingers,
Okay.
January has 31, February, March, April, May, June, July, August has 31, September, October,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's what we
well,
do.
Azim, let me share something here. Let's go way back to our primary
Primary
school
primary school.
Remember this, the knuckle? So you
Yeah,
count the
there you
knuckle,
go.
right?
There you
January,
go.
February. So if you're right here, slanted February, it's not 31 days. March is
Right,
31 days. April,
right,
30 days, right here, right? So
right,
what is this? This is a system. This is a
right,
framework. This is a structure. It has made our lives so simple to actually memorize or to understand which month has 30 days and 31 days in a year. So that's what we do. When we go into organizations, helping them to manage people across generations, to understand the younger generation, we actually give them proven frameworks, structures that they just need to follow step by step. To an extent, we even provide these managers with scripts that they can say so that they could have a more engaging conversation. Because as
right.
if you were to ask me, Michael, what's that one thing that all leaders, if you have an advice, if all leaders and managers must master in order for them to understand, to win, to motivate the younger generation of their workforce, it comes down to one thing:
Right.
communication. That's it. Knowing how to communicate, using some of the frameworks and structure that we will be sharing with you, that is how you're going to guide your train of thought. And that's where the magic happens.
Right. So structure is so important. I
Yes.
think many of our guests tuning in today want to know how to grow their own network and their own influence,
Oh,
and
great.
have very close similarities to what you just said to growing your network on LinkedIn as well. If
Oh,
you have
yes.
them that you can follow, it makes life so much more easier, doesn't it,
Oh,
Michael?
for sure. I mean, I'm gonna make a confession right here, right? So both Azip and I, we're in this growth academy where we're learning about LinkedIn. Again, all this happened, Azip. I need to tell your story, right? So all this happened. Azip just randomly messaged me and said, "Mike, you should join this." And I'm like, "What is it?" He's like, "Just join." And just because it was recommended by Azip, I actually joined. I think Azip, it was a span of like an hour, and then I sent you a screenshot. I'm like, "Hey, I'm in. I paid. I'm in." Now, when I told my staff, I'm like, "Hey guys, I've just joined this LinkedIn education group thingy. It's called Growth Academy." And they were like, "You could find this article all over the web. Why do you need to pay to join such a community?" But you know what I told my team, my staff, was I said, you could find a lot of things on the web. The problem is all the things around the web about LinkedIn, about how to grow anything in your life, are all scattered. They are not arranged. There is no structure to it. So you run into danger. The more you read, the more you research, the more confused you get. Yeah. How many of you can agree with that? Just head over to the comment section and just let us know, man. Type yes, okay? Let us know. So what happened was when I signed up for Growth Academy because of Azip, it provided me with a structure on how to grow my LinkedIn following. And of course, for those of you who want to learn like the accelerated method, hey, if you could get Azip's time, get him to teach you, man. He's like the most consistent person. He has the highest rate of growth in his LinkedIn community. So again, Azip, I need to share that story. Again, tying it back, it's all about structure. It's all about clarity.
Exactly. And if I can share a little bit about my journey as well. When I first started, Mike, this was actually I started my LinkedIn journey in 2010. I think it was just brand new. It was just a job board. It was a boring place to be much with it, right? But because I was the CEO of a national innovation foundation, I had quite a number of followers, about 1,000 plus, maybe 2,000 followers, even though I didn't do anything. So back in August, somebody came. Actually, it was Nina. We both know her, Nina Sharil Khan, came and talked about the power of LinkedIn at Cellcom. So when she told me the figures, it blew my mind because she said there were over 600 million users. Half of them are active, which means they are on the platform every single week. But out of those active people, only 1% produce a piece of content once a week,
Wow.
which means whoever's in that one percentile gets so much eyeballs, right? And that is people who produce once a week. But people like you and me now, Mike, who produce content once a day, in the rarefied earth, we are in very thin air there because not many people reach that level of continued content creation. So
Right.
which is why we get so much more eyeballs, so much more views on our content. And
God willing, thank you.
I only learned because I joined Growth Academy. I didn't know this, but because Shanae Moray shares so much of her own journey from 0 followers to 800,000 followers in 24 months, and she shares everything that she's done with us, it has made life so much more easy for us, for me and you, to do what we do.
For sure, for sure.
You've just joined, Mike. Tell the audience how it has changed your approach to posting on LinkedIn before you joined GA and now that you've joined.
Before I joined the Growth Academy, I was already posting content on LinkedIn. So nothing fascinating about that. The challenge was the content that I was posting are normally content about my personal life.
Right.
So pretty much it's like I would have posted something like what I'm grateful for, of a client I've worked with, what were some of the success stories that I've had. And I thought that was enough. And no doubt my followers were growing, but there was no strategy behind it. And it really dawned on to me was when COVID-19, the pandemic, hit all of us last year. And then my business struggled, to be honest. My business struggled. And then I went back to my team and I said, guys, we're supposed to be the millennials generation enablement expert. We're supposed to be helping companies to motivate and mobilize their millennials to make them more money, to be more effective for them, right? And then what happened was when I went back and I spoke to some of my clients, I said, hey, I'm just wondering, did we not do something right last year? We didn't hear back from you. Well, the first thing my client said, well, of course, we were cutting budget. So in any pandemic, the first budget to be slashed is the training budget, unfortunately, or the staff development budget, right? But the second revelation, the second revelation shocked me, Aziph, is when my client said, actually, we never thought Thriving Talents was the millennials expert. We just thought you're a motivational speaker. So I was shocked. I was like, what have we done to go so wrong? Because when we started Thriving Talents, my company, and we have grown it, right? We have always positioned ourselves as the millennials expert. But I think during the pandemic, people were, mostly online. They were consuming content like never before. And then when they look back at all my content that I was posting on LinkedIn, it was very motivational. It was like, oh, Michael Teo, the entrepreneur, not Michael Teo, the millennials expert. And I'm like, that's so not fair. I've done research on millennials. I have a dedicated team that does it. We have customized program. Voila, nothing. And that was when, I think it just came right on time. You have a good friend like Aziph, and he said, hey, join this. And I joined this. And then I joined Growth Academy. And then it gave that spark of idea of having strategy. So if you notice, Aziph, just 2 weeks ago, my content strategy began to change. Where right now I'm putting up more content that's really related to what's helping companies to understand the millennials, how to motivate, how to engage, how to manage them, how to grow them. So at the end of the day, it's about the strategy. It provided me with clarity on the strategy. So I was not just another cowboy in the Wild Wild West shooting empty rounds, hoping that people will be inspired by my story. But I think people are looking for something more tangible. And that's what we have been doing right now, Aziph.
Yeah, I love that you're claiming that space now, because especially in Malaysia, I don't think there's anyone else that has the amount of experience and so many clients that you've helped with this, yet you didn't stake that claim before. You didn't say we are the millennial experts. So now that you have that realization, I'm glad you can really, double down on that. I think that's an important lesson, because it's something that should be so closely tied to you, right? You want it to become to a stage that whenever any boss says, hey, we need help with the millennials, who are they going to call, right? Thriving Talents.
Thank you.
No other choice. So I'm glad you're on that path. I think in the next few months, it's not going to take long. As long as you're consistent with that messaging in your content, you will get that recognition. So we have lots and lots of the chat room is vibrant right now. Everyone's talking to themselves. I love it. If you have any questions, guys, please put it up, and we will try and address it here. I have a question for you, Mike.
Oh, sure.
Going to put something on the screen right now. Not many people may know this, but we are going to talk about this right now. Let's
Oh,
see.
so all good. I've promised Azip today. Wow. Okay, this one.
So, Mike wrote an article. He said, "How I met President Barack Obama and how you can possibly do it too." So there's many Americans on the screen right now, and I don't think many of them have met a president of the United States, but you have, Mike. So before you start telling this story, I have to introduce somebody else onto the show. Deb Rice, how are you, Deb? We can see you now, I hope. No, she's kind of frozen again. Yeah, I see you backstage, Deb, and I've put you on this.
So, okay, let me turn this off. Let me turn this off. Hi guys.
Yeah, because you're connected using two devices, I see. Oh, yeah, that's
She's
why.
really
Right.
trying
Can
her
you hear
best
me now?
to come and join
I
us.
can hear you perfectly. Beautiful.
Do
You're
you see me now and hear me?
We can see you, but you're kind of frozen there, Deb. Uh, your cameras doesn't seem to be moving at the moment. Maybe we'll get back to you just in a little bit. I'm glad to have you. I'm so sorry you've been backstage all this while, and we've just been talking these two guys. But once we once we clear that issue up again, Mike, this story here, how I met President Barack Obama, it's an amazing story. I was there, but I'd really like to hear it from you, and maybe you can share with our audience today.
Okay, I'm going to share my story in a way that will allow our audiences, especially your community, Azip, to learn something as well. Okay, so I'm going to put it into a structure. Okay, all right. So again, thank you, everybody. So, what is the story all about? In a nutshell, it's a story of resilience. It's a story of network as well. And it's a story of consistency. Again, resilience, network, consistency. These are the things that you need to build any community, something that I've seen Azip do really well. Okay. So we're going to go on this. So let's talk about from the resilient part. So Azip, it started in the year 2011. I was traveling around the world that time. I was going to 22 countries, working on humanitarian missions, helping businesses. I got that opportunity because I won the world's largest social entrepreneurship competition in the UK. And that got me to meet and learn from Sir Richard Branson. So it was really cool. Perhaps that's a story for another day, yeah, Azip? So again, putting some teasers right here. Hopefully Azip have me back as a guest again. so anyway, so that's Sir Richard Branson story. I'll talk about it another time. So what happened was, as I was traveling around the world, I came up with this idea. I said, hey, I've always looked up to President Barack Obama. I love how he speaks. I love how he's poised, he's polished, and I would love to meet him. So that dream happened in the year 2011. Now, when you have a dream, you either have two things to do, right? You either take action on that dream or you don't take any action. If you don't take any action, that dream remains a dream. But when you start taking action, you start to get closer to it. All right. So what happened was I started with the first method. I wrote letters. Like literally, my dear friends, I wrote letters. How many of you here have written letters recently? Yeah, go to the comment section and just type me, M-E. Okay, so we want to see it. All right. Now, why am I asking that? Because let's be clear. When people say we have written letters, are you sure you have written letters? Most people would have typed the letters and then sign it at the end with their signature, right? I literally hand wrote those letters and I sent it to the White House. So I remember writing 11 letters. I wrote 11 letters, sent it to the White House, and guess what, Azip? Nothing happened. All right, nothing happened. Okay, and I mean it's not surprising because really, he is the president of the United States, right? So nothing happened, and then I remember at the eve of New Year, 2011, I asked myself a question. I said, it's been a year. I've written 11 letters. Nothing happened. Do I want to continue on with this dream? Again, resilience. So I thought, always weigh the pro and cons, right? For example, if all of you that are watching this right now, you want to grow your LinkedIn network, and Aziph just said, you got to add value, you got to feature guests, you got to build your community. I know it's going to require some time, just like what Aziph is doing. He's under the hot sun, under a tree, doing this right now for us. But guess what? If you believe that the outcome outweighs the con, like there are more pros than cons, do it. So I thought, hey, if I get to meet President Barack Obama, not only would it be a dream come true for me, but I hope to become a story, a symbol for a lot of young Malaysians and young people across the world to believe that if you have a dream that big, you could achieve it. But the first year was not fruitful. 11 letters, nothing happened. And then I decided that, hey, I want to carry on with this. 2012, change strategy. All right. I'm always reminded of this, Aziph, and all of you watching this right now. We are not a tree. We can change. If something is not working, change it. All right. So writing letters did not work. So the next thing I did in 2012 was I would go onto the White House website. I would literally, quote unquote, I'm not proud about it right now to admit it, but I literally spammed the site, and I would meet President Obama. I would go onto Facebook, and I'll be like, hey, who am I? This is what I'm doing. I'm helping the millennials generation. Hey, I would love to meet the president. Guess what? I guess they were so inspired by my spams that they allowed me to meet him. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, sarcasm. No. It didn't happen. Actually, I think I was blocked by President Obama's Twitter, I think. So there you go. So that was 2012, right? And then it didn't work. 2013, I said, hey, I'm still gonna go at it. All right, consistency, Aziph. That's what I see in you, consistency, right? I'm gonna go at it and then change strategy. So the only other strategy I know, which is related to network. Remember, we talk about this story. It's about resilience. It's about network. It's about consistency. So I thought the only other variable that I could explore would be to tap into my existing network, go out, reach out to them and said, hey, I have a dream. I would like to meet President Barack Obama. How can you help me? So I went around talking to people. I spoke to politicians. I spoke to business people. I spoke to my clients. I spoke to social activists. Guess what? 2013, nothing happened, Aziph. Nothing. All right. And then 2014 came, and I was like, should I still continue on with this dream? It's getting exhausting. It's like Aziph, right? It's like when we're building our LinkedIn community, we're pushing out so many content, but then you're saying that I only have 5 subscribers today. Oh, am I still gonna do this? But I'm reminded by an age-old story, Aziph, about the bamboo. It's an old Chinese proverb where, when you're planting a bamboo sprout, you could water it for days, for weeks, for months, for years. Nothing will appear. But I believe it's on the 5th year, the bamboo sprout would grow so fast that it becomes the towering plant that it is renowned for today. So that was what happened. 2014, I thought, I've tried everything. I spoke to a friend of mine, and he said, Michael, there's only one more hope, one more method. Just book a flight ticket, go to Washington, D.C., camp outside the White House. The moment you see the presidential motorcade leave the White House, throw yourself onto their windscreen, and definitely the president will meet you. And most likely you'll either be killed or be thrown in jail. So, okay, that's not going to work, right? So again, the only thing I knew, Aziph, was the variable. So the variable was maybe I have not met the right person. So if I continue talking, if I continue growing my network, if I continue asking my network, someone would help. And again, Aziph, I'm going to share this. They did not pay me to say this. I share their brand openly, and because I love them so much. And in 2014, someone helped me. And that person was from Microsoft. So Microsoft Malaysia has been our client. I mentioned that earlier. They were our first client ever. And then the lady was so kind. She said, Michael, we heard that President Obama was coming to Malaysia for the first time. I said, yes. We can try to arrange a meeting between you and the president for 5 minutes just to have a picture with him. And I'm like, oh my God, that would be amazing, right? And Aziph, guess what? I remember it was like 2 weeks before President Obama was scheduled to arrive in Malaysia. I got an email and then I got a phone call from Microsoft saying that, Michael, we tried. The president's schedule is so packed, you cannot meet him. And I thought, you know what? At that point, I felt very disappointed. But at the same time, there was that calming feeling. It's because when you realize that you have tried your best, there are no regrets because you have tried your best. You really put all out into it, right? And a mentor of mine, Tony Fernandez of AirAsia, actually shared with me saying that, Michael, the worst thing you want to live in your life is to not having tried your best. You don't want to live your life in regret, right? So I just thought, that's okay, that's fine. And then Microsoft called me back, half an hour later, said, Michael, we've got an idea for you. You cannot meet the president. I'm like, oh yeah, what a way to rub more salt to my injury, right? Rub it in, yes, make me more sad. And then Microsoft said, no, we have an idea for you. You cannot meet him. But President Barack Obama believes in the education of young people. And you work with millennials. How about this? We're going to invite you to be a speaker and a facilitator for a workshop that we're going to invite President Barack Obama to come and visit. Are you okay with that? In my mind, I'm like, even if you don't pay me, I'm willing to do it for free. Oh my goodness, right? And then that happened. We did that workshop. I was there facilitating a group of I think it was 30 really young leaders. You're talking about, these are children between 9 to 10 years old, the future young leaders of the country. And I was there doing my thing. I'm really passionate about it. And then President Obama walks in with our then Prime Minister, Dato Sri Najib. And President Obama is really tall, by the way. I mean, I'm quite tall, but he's really tall, right? He's really tall. And you could feel his charisma when he walks in. And then he would be seated at the back, his hands crossed, legs folded, looking at me. And then I would be facilitating the workshop for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And then President Obama got up, gave a speech. And then at the end of the day, we had a picture with him. He had a chance to talk to me. And that has become not only my story, it has become a story for a lot of people. Because in my industry, in the training, professional leadership development industry, a lot of young people are trying to start in this industry. And oftentimes we get this stigma that we are young, we don't know much. How can we even train employees in companies, right? But that story of mine have apparently opened up a lot of companies' eyes towards recognizing younger people, towards recognizing younger talents in the industry, like myself, that we can add value. So I'm just so glad. And, I still sing praises about Microsoft today. I am a PC user. I'm not an Apple user yet, all the way using Android phones and whatnot. It's because that happened. So again, it's the story of resilience, of network, and of consistency, something that you're doing right now, Aziph. And I hope all of you are doing right now too.
That's just an amazing story. And is this a picture of you there? Are you in this picture?
There you go. So I'm next to our Prime Minister, Dato Sri Najib. That's right.
You look 12 years old. Is you sure that's you?
Yeah, that's me. I was still wearing my spectacles at that time, which by the way, an interesting story just to share with all of you here, because Aziph say, Michael, be candid, share things that you wouldn't normally share on the stage when you speak to thousands of people with my audience. So here's the catch, okay? Here's the catch. You notice that spectacles, I was wearing the black spectacles. I didn't need it. There is no power. I wore those spectacles to make me look older. Because that was the challenge I was going through as I was talking to all these companies, and they're like, are you sure you are the trainer? Are you sure you're the speaker? Come on. And I'm like, yeah, I look old, right? And yeah, you look old enough. Okay. But honestly, I wore those spectacles to make myself look older. So there you go.
Even with the spectacles, you look 14 years old. So.
Oh my goodness. It failed. But guess what? I've actually lost the specs. I am actually older now. So.
That is amazing story. That's an amazing story. I thank you so much for sharing that with us, Michael.
Thank you.
That's just incredible. Now I'm just gonna try. Hey, Fernando from LA. How
Hello, hello, Fernando, LA. Yes.
Silicon Beach. That's definitely someplace we will visit. One of
Oh,
I
nice,
am
nice.
going to attempt to get Deb back onto the stream because she's been waiting very patiently backstage. Let's see if I can get to her
My
right.
dear friends, that is the one admirable trait of Azip. He's consistent, he's resilient, and again, he's investing in his network. He wants people to know all the insights that his guests could share. So again, Azip, kudos to you.
Thank you so much. And there she is, Deb Rice, finally. Oh, we can't hear you now, Deb. You need to turn your mic on.
I think her image is frozen.
Oh, I can see her move right now, but I can't hear her. We can't hear you, Deb. I don't see that it's muted. No, it's not, but she's here finally. Uh, and she had, no, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. She had scheduled this at least a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. And she's been looking forward to this. No, we can't hear you. Oh, let's see. I'm muting you and I'm unmuting you, and nope, doesn't seem
Can
to.
you hear me now?
Yay! Now we can.
You
Awesome.
guys, you guys have so much advantage over me. Believe me. Michael, I'm just in awe of all that you've done. My goodness, you've been with Microsoft even? That's crazy.
Oh, thank you.
I have
Thank you.
I have so much that I am learning, and being a part of Growth Academy was a Christmas present. My husband said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I said, "I want to grow my business and I need to learn about LinkedIn." And
Nice.
so I don't know what all you're going to do, but I know Shanae and I know Chris because I'm in Chris's company. And so I just have so much to learn because I'm a registered nurse
Very nice.
and I have lived decades being a bedside registered nurse, and I didn't even have Facebook until 2015. So I have so much to learn. And right now, I live in Kansas, and right now the Midwest is having a huge snow front, cold front coming in.
Oh,
And it's usually around this time of year, it's usually about 20 to 45 degrees. Today it was 3 degrees.
Oh,
It got up to 9. And in the next couple of days, it's going to be minus 30. So the wind is blowing and I'm having trouble with my internet, and I just did my 4G. So for me, having to do any adjustments from laptop to Brio camera that was new a couple of days ago to now figuring out this, I'm pretty proud of myself.
good job, Deb. Well done.
well done to you, Deb.
Yeah.
Power of
Thank you.
resilience. There you go.
I am resilient.
And
So,
one of the amazing things we read about you, Deb, was this incredible transformation you had. You lost a lot of weight. Are you comfortable
yes.
speaking about that?
Yes, and I brought a picture too. So I was not always overweight at all. I was healthy and doing well, and then I was progressing in my registered nurse life, in my career, and menopause. I'm older than you think I am. Early menopause paired with being working 2 days a week in pre-op and recovery, working 2 days a week teaching nursing school, and being in grad school full time. I was making unhealthy choices because it was just easy to go fast food. And so eventually, paired with menopause, I gained a bunch of weight. And now I'm down 52 pounds.
Wow.
And so this is how unhealthy I was. And I was never going to let anybody see this picture.
Wow.
But But when my cousin took that picture in June of 2015, he said, "I'm going to put this in the family Facebook group. Why don't you have Facebook?" Well, I just retired from teaching nursing students the month before, and I said, "I guess I can get Facebook now." And so I gave him my phone, and I said, "I don't know what to do," and put it on. And I looked at the picture, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know I looked like this." It was something that, as a registered nurse, when you're wearing scrubs and you're wearing, um, the scrub pants that can tie together, or the scrub pants that have the elastic waistband, you can just kind of lie to yourself how much bigger you're getting. But when you put on jeans, it's realistic. And so,
It's real.
right. And so in October of 2015, I had tried for a couple of months to lose weight, and it wasn't happening. I was pre-diabetic. I was on medication for that. I was on high blood pressure medication. I had high cholesterol. My joints hurt. Everything hurt. And exercise that I used to do when I was younger wasn't working. Just trying to eat better, it really wasn't working now that my metabolism had changed. And so I found out from a friend on Facebook that I'd known for 20 years. You look up your friends, right? When you join social media, you look up your friends.
Yeah.
And so I was looking up a friend, and she was talking to somebody else about this product. And I said, what are you doing? I'm just going to watch you for a few weeks. And after watching her for 4 weeks, she was changing sizes and she was getting healthier. And I said, I'm tired of what I'm gonna start this right now. And I went ahead and I signed up to be a distributor. I'd never been in network marketing. I'd never sold anything, but I'm a registered nurse, and I thought, if it works for me and people ask me about it, then I'll share. In 4 weeks, people were asking me, "What are you doing?" And I started signing up people, and it's changed my life. I lost 30 pounds in 4 months.
Wow.
And my knees didn't hurt after 2 weeks. That's my story.
Wow.
And we cannot promise to prevent, cure, treat, or diagnose disease, but I've had my doctor for over 25 years. He's the one that started putting me on medications when things were changing. And he's the one that said, "You don't need this anymore. You don't need that anymore." I've been off of all of my medicine for over 4 years.
That's amazing.
That's my story. And I feel so much hope that I've got my life back. I can go hiking with my husband. I can be on the floor with my grandchildren when I get to be with them. It's been 1 year because of COVID.
No.
Since I last saw him, because we had a vacation just before that all hit in March.
Yep.
So
one of my audience here, Ayu Shahira, she says she lost 50 kilograms. Wow, that's amazing. And
yes.
it's really worth it, she says. So
Yeah.
it really resonates what you're sharing with us, Deb, because, not just weight loss, but anything that you want to improve in your life, you need to be consistent. You need to have a plan, right, Mike? You need to have a system. You need to have a great community supporting you. And you can basically do, and I honestly believe this, anything you put your mind to, if you have the support systems surrounding you. So congratulations, Deb. And this is Fit Team, right? That has helped.
Yes. And we are a team, and you definitely have, can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
And we definitely are, it's about everybody helping each other. And
Exactly.
we are in United States. We opened in Canada, and we're in Mexico, and we'll be growing in South America before we get to the rest of the world. But I want to make connections now, because my heart right now is that nurses are not taking care of themselves. I wasn't taking care of myself then, but right now nurses and all of healthcare is under so much stress. I want to reach nurses, and that's why I joined LinkedIn. So I could reach nurses that I don't know in areas I don't know yet and reach them. And this is so simple. What I'm providing, and I would be your coach, and I would love to help somebody that wants to have a side hustle. It was something that I did for 14 months while still being in pre-op and recovery room after I had retired from teaching. And then my dad had a stroke and my mom has heart problems. And so I'm available for my family. I'm still a caretaker in a different way. So you know somebody that needs this, and I want to help you live the best healthy version of you. So that's what I've got my website as, besthealthyversionofyou.com, and you can see my story.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Deb, because I think you've inspired me, and you've inspired our audience, because like you said, if you can do it, anybody could. And what I'd like to highlight is how approach you're taking. You want to do this because you want to help people. You want to help people live the best lives that they can. And I think that is so important. That's the cornerstone of what Michael is doing. That's what I'm doing. We are here because we can help other people. And that makes it so much more valuable, not just for us, but for the people that we can touch. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my responsibilities as the host is to time box. And I love this conversation, and I wish we could talk for another hour, but it's already been 55 minutes. And I'd like to take this opportunity to allow my guests to kind of summarize and give us some key takeaways of what our conversation has been. And let's start with you, Mike, on how you have found today's conversation.
Thank you, Aziph. Aziph, to support the theme of your program here today, where really it's all about grow, right? It's about growth. It's about growing to your next level. So if there's a summary I could give to all of you, there will be three things. Number one, have clarity in how you want to grow. If you do not know how to grow, if you do not have that clarity, go out and seek for help. One of my superhuman powers, as shared by my staff, even by my fiance and my family, is that I have a very thick face. So when I need help, I will go out there and I'll ask for help. As an example, just for me right now, I hope my story and also some of the lessons I've shared with all of you have not only inspired you, but given you something very practical to work with. I mean, thank you to Aziph and Deb for being here. I would love to speak at your region, at your country, to your people. So do reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. Okay, send me a message. Happy to share what I've gone through, costly mistakes that I have to walk through in my life so that you can avoid it, so that your community can avoid it, so that we all can prosper together. So number one, have clarity about how you want to grow and go out and seek for help. Seeking for help, in my opinion, is not a sign of weakness. Number two, as a summary, I'd like to share as part of the theme of growing, growth, or grow, would be to have structure. In a sense, oftentimes we get frustrated, we get demotivated of growing, of expanding, of going to the next level. It is merely because we're confused. It is merely because we have doubts. So how do we clear all of that off? Is to have a structure, is to have a framework. If you don't have a structure, you don't have a framework, go and learn it. If you have gone through certain experiences in your life, you have picked up some lessons from it, ask yourself, reflect upon it. How can you take those lessons and put it into a structured format, a step-by-step guide, so that the next time, if you come across such a challenge or a crisis, you would know how to approach it. And the third lesson that I wish to share with all of you, it's a personal mantra of mine. I do not believe in waiting for opportunities. Create your opportunities instead. Life becomes much more fun, much more vibrant when you are the proactive one, when you're always looking out, reaching out, partnerships, collaboration, engagement. And, people talk about competition, right? I believe in compassion. Be compassionate to others, be compassionate to grow your community. And the universe works in such a beautiful, miraculous way. The universe will repay you back. All right. So again, thank you, Azip, for this opportunity. I look forward to connect with all of you. I would love to speak at your region. Let me know how. Okay, I know that we have some guests from New York. We have some guests, I believe, from Europe, from India tuning in. I would love to add value to your community. Thank you, Azip. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Mike. And now to Deb.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Michael because he's so flexible and so adaptable with all of his growth and all of his resilience that all the time that I was trying to get on and Aziph kept trying to check on me and I was trying to figure things out, he just kept the show going. And I appreciate that. And so that is a major growth. And you know what? If you're older like me, it's not too late to have a second career, a second anything. I always, as an emergency department, emergency trauma nurse, I was always learning. After I injured my shoulder, after 20 years being in ER trauma, then I went to pre-op and recovery. And then somebody said, you'd be a wonderful teacher. And I went on to grad school. You can always still learn and adapt and grow. And I just love this. I love millennials, actually, because I taught them. I helped bring 300 new RNs into the workforce. But some of those RNs now are really having a hard time. And whether they're millennials or they're anybody in this time right now is having a hard time, and you deserve self-care. You deserve to take care of yourself. What I offer is USDA certified organic. It is non-GMO, gluten-free. It's kosher even. It's amazing. It's diabetic friendly. It's changed my life. And I would love to help you. I have a private Facebook group. If there's any particularly females that would be interested in joining my private Facebook group, I'm Deb Rice on Facebook. And I have Instagram also. So part of why my LinkedIn profile isn't as spread out and consistent as it should be is I've been learning too much. I've been learning too much. So I need to be consistent on LinkedIn, and I'm here to grow, and I appreciate this opportunity. Oh my gosh. So you deserve to feel good and be the best healthy version of you, and I want to help anybody do that.
Wow. Thank you so much, Deb. Thank you so much, Mike. I need to tell everyone that this show was brought to you by Redbeard Media International, and it was powered by Restream.io. I gave in the chat if you need a live streaming app, check out Restream.io and Growth Academy. So if you are looking for a group that we belong to right now, Mike, Deb, and I all belong to Growth Academy, and we've gotten so much value from being part of this group. Please do check them out. The link is also in the chat today. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, help me to thank Michael Teo and Deb Rice for being with us all morning today. And you guys have a wonderful time. All of us are in red in commemoration of the Lunar New Year. Happy New Year, everyone.
Valentine's. Valentine's.
Valentine's coming up tomorrow. Yes.
Tomorrow. Spread the love, one love, everyone. And take care of yourselves. Take care of your health. And as always, stay kind. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.